Today we are going to take a look at the Staedtler Double-Ended Lettering Pens. Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. Today we are looking at the Staedtler Double-Ended Lettering Pens. They are a double-sided brush pen and felt tip pen. They come in 12 colors. The colors are black, blue, emerald, lime, magenta, orange, purple, red, sienna, sky blue, turquoise, and yellow. These retail for around $20 on Amazon or $13.50 on JetPens, which I will link down below as well as in the blog. They only come in 12 colors. It is a water-based ink, which means it's very comparable to the Tombows and should make for easy blending. It even says tip-to-tip blending. So we're going to take a look and see how they go. I will be adding them to my brush pen chart that you can check out, and I've linked that to the blog down below. They are not refillable and the tips cannot be replaced, so that's just something to keep in mind. They are a round barrel pen, plastic, easy to grip, easy to hold. The lids snap onto each other like that so that you're not going to lose them. Easily like that, and they're fairly comfortable to hold. I have been using these for a couple weeks now, so I have some thoughts that I will be sharing with you. So I have spent some time with these, working with them, trying to get a feel for them, and I will say it is the lowest price point brush pens we've looked at, I believe. And my biggest issue is that not all of the brushes feel new. So some are still kind of easy to use and easy to maneuver, while others kind of spread out and splotch out, if that makes sense. So there's not much consistency there, so that was kind of disappointing. Otherwise, the colors are pretty vibrant and bright, which is great. They are easy to use, which is great, and easy to maneuver. I know a lot of the thicker brush pens of this size can be kind of difficult to work with, but this is actually very simple. I feel the stiffness of the brush is somewhere between the Funosuke's or the Pentels and the Tombows. So we're going to do a pen test in the 160 GSM Archer and Olive paper. We're going to look at 120 GSM, 90 GSM, and 80 GSM and see how they do. So we're going to look at 3 different ways of blending. We're going to blend them with themselves, if that makes sense. And then we're going to be using a brush pen as well as using some paper for a watercolor effect to see how that holds up. So we will start with the moleskin and make our way up to the 160 GSM Archer and Olive. So this is on the moleskin. I'm actually not even going to bother blending it because it bled through right away. And if you look, it's kind of got a cool effect how the water kind of pooled on the page. So moleskin is a no-go with these pens. Like as I mentioned in my intro, this tip is kind of splodgy and difficult to manage versus this tip is a lot stiffer. So it's definitely lacking in the consistency there. But we will move on to the, and let's see how this one's bleeding through too. So we're gonna see how the Leuchtturm holds up. So this one is starting to bleed through, definite ghosting. Again, it's kind of got that watercolor effect without having to add water to it, which is kind of cool, but not if that's not what you're going for. I do like how it goes kind of lighter at the bottom, but I don't think we're gonna blend this one because we're gonna run into the same problems in the moleskin. So maybe not in the Leuchtturm either, unless you're gluing the pages together. But it's actually drying a lot nicer than the moleskin did. Now we've got our 120 GSM paper. So this paper is a lot smoother than the moleskin or the Leuchtturm that we looked at, but it's also doing that weird drying effect. I don't know if you can see how it's bubbling a little. Just some ghosting. I actually think it's starting to bleed through on the 120 GSM as well. Okay, so some thoughts. It's self-cleaning, which is great. When you blend them together, either doing the pickup method or putting the tips together, it works quite well actually. Blending it together with a water pen was terrible. It was terrible. Here's where I try to go over each other with the pens together and the paper got all frayed. And as a watercolor, it's very light. It's not very opaque. I want to say it's watery, which I find funny because it's watercolor, but yeah, and it's not working in the 120 GSM. So we're gonna try the 160 GSM and then we'll come back and swatch. Okay, so this is the 160 GSM. The marker didn't dry as weird on this paper as it did on all of the others. So let me show you the comparison quickly. So if you look, it kind of had little cool droplets almost. This wasn't quite as bad. It did have a kind of the watercolor effect that you see in the moleskin, I believe, but a little bit cleaner. The blending into each other caused the paper to lift up again. No bleed through, no ghosting, but some warping of the paper here and here. When you pick it up from the sheet, from the acetate, it looks really good. That looks really pretty. I like that. Again, it's self-cleaning and I try to use as little water as possible and it still comes out very watery. So we're going to now go ahead and swatch these and take a look at the colors. Again, my overall take on these, they're not bad. I kept switching the lids around. Like, I feel like the lids are different, but they look the same. No, the lids are the same. So that's why I kept getting confused, I guess. Overall, they are a good price. I don't like that some of the tips are floppier than the others. So again, this one's very watery and very, like, it splotches out versus this one's a lot more, like the tip is harder. So you can see I'm applying the same amount of pressure and here the lines are thinner, here the lines are thicker. So that's throughout the set. I found it's not just limited to this or these two pens. I've already taken a look at these obviously, so it's definitely not limited to these two. So just kind of keep that in mind. I don't know if I'd use them for lettering necessarily. They might be fun for coloring because they are a little less predictable from a lettering standpoint. So you just want to watch out for that. But otherwise, they're not bad. For the price, you know, I'd consider them. You can take a look at those and decide. The color range is great, pen's comfortable to hold, and I will put these on the comparison chart for you to take a look at. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you enjoy the swatching process.